Hi everybody, welcome to Shine Bright, a beacon of light that brings people to Christ. I'm actually just about to jump right in because I am so excited about this video in particular. I'm always excited, and I honestly a little nervous when I record videos, but yeah, this one is so great, and I'm just excited that I get to share this testimony of God's goodness and his grace that he has blessed me and my family with. If you can't tell by the title, I'm pregnant with my first baby. Such a huge testimony, and definitely if you've been following my channel and you know what I talk about, I've definitely been talking about like faith, encouragement, but the faith portion is something that this is a huge testament of, and I'm just excited that I get to not only experience this, but honestly give God all the glory, honor, and praise, because this was something that we've prayed for relentlessly and over the past 5 years. And again, I have a couple of videos that kind of, well, my videos all last year were kind of hinting around that, but it was more so of the journey that God was taking me on, to be able to, one, heal me, but also to reveal to me who he is in a completely different way. And I even have a video about when my husband and I went through the miscarriage 5 years ago. That was so challenging, and to be on the other side of that, it's like wow, like God, you're so amazing, you're so faithful, you're so righteous. And honestly, guys, I've said this to a lot of people already, but it honestly feels like a dream, because again, when you get to a point where you've prayed for something, and let's be real, like you've had doubts that it could even happen, and you start to question God, you get frustrated with God about the entire process, and like, God, why are you letting it happen for everybody else but me? Those are real emotions, and God sees that. But at the same time, I had to get to a point, like I said in my previous video, that I had to choose to fight differently, because I would just get so tired and overwhelmed with the constant disappointment and hoping every month, will this be the month, will this be the month? Again, all valid feelings, they're real and they can be very challenging, and it's hurtful. But one thing I've learned through this journey is that God cares about my hurt, and he cares about what I care about. And in his word, it literally says, be fruitful and multiply. And I know that it was going to happen. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest, like I said, I did doubt that it would happen. And I would get overwhelmed when people would continue to encourage and say it. But that wasn't any slight to them. They was just being obedient and encouraging me and my husband. When you're hearing the promise, or you're thanking God for a manifestation and you haven't seen it yet, when you're in that waiting period, it's so difficult. But I had to remind myself of who God is and just trust in his timing. And it's crazy because it wasn't until I started to yield to Christ and allow him to heal me, and I had to go through all those different stages. So while I'm talking about the process, if you look at my videos from the beginning of 2023, you'll see that it was kind of like I was literally on the journey as I was putting the videos together for you guys. And it's really crazy to see and look back on it now, because at the beginning of 2023, God helped me realize that my relationship with him was a conditional one. And that was a whole video. So once I unlearned that process, it's like, okay, now I'm like, okay, God, now what? Now I know my relationship was conditional. That's not how I'm supposed to view our relationship. So now what? He had me study his love. So that was another video. So getting to know who God is, building my foundation on the love of God, and the love of Christ first, was another layer in the process for me. And then after that, it was faith, and then the petition, like petitioning God for any request or anything that I had, and believing him for it, and believing and trusting that he's going to do it. Because it's one thing to just say, like, yeah, I have faith, but it's a whole nother thing when you got to believe that thing and want that thing out. Okay. And to finally, the last video that I just uploaded recently was how God literally completely removed the triggers for me, where I would feel triggered when I would see someone who was pregnant, or someone in my friend group who was expecting. And mind you, you definitely, just because I was around people who were expecting and I would see it all the time, for people I didn't even know, or even somebody just walking in the grocery store, it was never that I was not happy, and never took that joy away from celebrating them. But there was always, and if you've ever been through a miscarriage or know someone who has this perspective, hopefully you could probably relate. But it never took away from me being happy or joyous for them. But there was a slight of like, okay, God, when is it my turn? Like, am I next? Is this something that I know this is your will for me? You keep telling me, I keep having all the dreams. But you couldn't help but hope and wonder, like, okay, God, is it, am I going to be next or anytime soon? So, but for me, I realized God showed me that there was a lot of things that I needed to take care of first. Not only with just my relationship with him, but the healing that I had to go through when I experienced the loss, like over almost 6 years ago, like 6 years ago now. So it's kind of cool that I have this journey documented like on this channel, because I get to look back and see exactly how God brought me from point A to point B to now actually walking in something that I prayed for, and to show that this is a testament of God's faithfulness, his goodness, and just his love for me, to really take the time to walk me through the process of, not, like I said, not just healing, but just developing a more intimate relationship with him. So if I could just encourage whoever is watching this, that if this is something that you've prayed for, or if there's something that you are praying for that's not in directly relation to becoming a mother or being pregnant, but just to trust God and know that he cares exactly what's on your heart, and if it's according to his will, that he's going to bring it to pass. And we can trust him with our feelings. We can trust him with those hurt places. And I know our natural reaction sometimes can be to hide those things or to pull away from God, but that's actually the opposite of what we should be doing. We should be leaning into him even more. I pray now for whoever's watching this video that whatever you believe in God for, that he's going to meet that need, and that I pray that he gives you comfort in the waiting period, because I know it's not always easy. It can be very challenging, but I pray that when we have those moments of frustration or even feeling challenged while we're waiting, I pray that God's peace comforts you. And then I also pray that you rest in him even the more, because it's going to come to pass. I've heard so many times that God does not operate in our timetable. Like, he operates outside of time. So sometimes it can be hard when we have a timeline, and we're like, okay, God, this should have happened by now. This should have went a certain way by now. I just pray that we remind ourselves that it's all according to his plan and according to his purpose and his will. And I know that's easier said than done, but I promise you, it wasn't until I started to yield to God's will and stop being so focused on the timeline of when it was going to happen for me, and just trust God that it was going to happen. Honestly, that's when it happened. And I know, even if you're watching this and trying to conceive or expecting to be a mom soon, I know that is something that can be triggering for you to hear, because it was for me. But ask God to remove your triggers. Ask God to heal you. Ask God to give you grace and patience while waiting on him. And just, again, like I said, I just pray for comfort for you. And I pray that you will receive the desires of your heart in due time. I'm super excited to, again, share this testimony with you guys. And I honestly be having, like I said, days where I'm like dreaming. I feel like I'm dreaming. and we're just so grateful to meet our little baby soon. So if you have anything that you need prayer for or you want encouragement on, feel free to drop that in the comments. But I thank you for watching this video, and I'm super excited for all of us who have these testimonies that are loading, and that we can trust that God is doing an amazing work within his people. As long as we trust him and focus on that, his will is ultimately going to be done in the earth. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.